Before we begin today, guys, I'd like to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this video. If you don't know, Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes covering dozens of creative and entrepreneurial skills that are incredibly affordable, especially when compared to those super overpriced in-person classes and workshops. An annual subscription is less than $10 per month, and because Skillshare is sponsoring this very video, you can click the link in the top line of the description and get 2 months for free. So basically, there's zero reason as to why you wouldn't click the link after you're finished with the video. What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another brand new video. I'm feeling much better this week. Thank you all for your concerned comments last week. But this week we have a pretty interesting video idea. Being that it has finally broken 75 degrees in New York, even though I still see my breath at night. It's sunny, it's beautiful, and I think a nice cold sweet treat would be perfect for right now. Immediately my brain went to Tasty's Baked Alaska, which is basically a cake and a bunch of different ice creams and a nice Italian meringue. But it is simple because they use box cake, they use store-bought ice cream. So because of that, and because you guys seem to love the whole versus format that I did last week, we're gonna do another one, except this time it's going to be Tasty versus Gordon Ramsay. I did a pasta episode like this years ago and I never touched the series again, so here's episode 2, I guess. It's a windstorm out here. After last week's defeat of their cookie recipe and the fact that it is Gordon Ramsay, the odds are certainly stacked against them again this week, but let's see how it all plays out. So just like last week, I'm gonna begin with Tasty's version of the dish. And to make it, I grabbed 3 different flavors of ice cream, chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry, some yellow cake mix, sugar, water, vanilla extract, eggs, cream of tartar, and oil. Now I wanna put this disclaimer out there right away. Because this is a versus, I'm going to do exactly what both Tasty and Gordon Ramsay does in each one of their videos. I'm not gonna change anything, I'm not gonna try to upgrade anything, I'm gonna try to copy everything step by step. And for Tasty, that begins with layering 3 flavors of your ice cream in your glass bowl and letting it set in the freezer between each individual layer. Now I'm just gonna let that sit in the freezer while I prepare everything else for this, and I am 99% sure that they use a boxed cake mix in this video, so again, that's just what I'm gonna do too. The only thing here is to try to get your circular cake pan as close to the diameter of your ice cream bowl as possible so they fit right together. Now the third and final component here is the meringue, and Tasty and Gordon make theirs very, very differently, which I find interesting. You'll see Gordon's in a minute, but Tasty basically starts with your egg whites, your sugar, your cream of tartar, and a double boiler. Do not stop mixing this, keep this over pretty low heat, or else your sugar will burn onto your bowl and you'll just have a big mess. And after you let that go for about 3 minutes, transfer it over to your mixer. They use a hand mixer, I'm not about that life today. And once you have beaten the heck out of this mixture, you can finish it off with a little bit of vanilla extract, and that's actually looking pretty good. Now I do think I've given my cake enough time to cool. I think my ice cream is fully set, so let's try to throw it all together. Your bowl of ice cream is gonna be flipped right on top of your cake round. Mine were very close in size, so I was happy I didn't have to trim anything. And then as soon as I tried to put my meringue on there, I realized something was wrong. I don't know if the ice cream wasn't hard enough or the cake was still a little bit warm. Either way, I immediately threw it in the freezer, and I'm just gonna let that sit for hours while I prepare Gordon's. Up next today is obviously Gordon Ramsay's version of Baked Alaska. It's about 1/4 of the size. The meringue is made very differently, so let's grab the ingredients for it. Some gingerbread cake mix, some vanilla ice cream and sugar, raspberries, a lemon, some water, some eggs, and then I felt like an absolute idiot looking through the liquor store for these 2 things, some raspberry liqueur and some cognac. Immediately, I'm already savoring one of these recipes. Again though, allow me to reiterate, if Gordon Ramsay himself can use a pre-made ginger cake and some Mohegan Lake ice cream, I think I'm allowed to do the same. I started by whipping up this box of gingerbread cake, which I was surprised I even found. I will say the batter for this seemed oddly watery, but I poured a thin layer into my bread pan, and I think it came out alright. I baked it in this pan specifically so that I can take my 3-inch ring mold when the cake is fully cooled and punch out 2 nice circles that are going to be the main components in our Baked Alaska here. And like I said, we have to do a second version of some meringue, and Gordon starts with some sugar and a few teaspoons of water on a saucepan. Here's the thing though, I have no idea how much of each ingredient he uses because it's nowhere on the video or in the description, so I'm just gonna take my best guess. You wanna let this mixture come to a boil and then simmer off for a bit so everything dissolves. And then in your mixer, start with a few egg whites and a little bit of lemon juice. I've never heard of this being done, but apparently it strengthens your egg whites, so we will see. And after I gave this a few minutes to whip up, I checked my sugar again, and it was ruined. Half the sugar crystallized across the top, I'm assuming because I mixed it too much at the beginning. So I quickly tossed this mixture out. I did the whole thing again off camera without touching it at all, and the sugar syrup this time is looking much better. So I very slowly streamed that in as to not cook the eggs. And once everything was incorporated, I would say this looks good, but pretty comparable to Tasty's. So let's begin to construct this thing. 1 layer of your sponge cake, some crushed up fresh raspberries, and then a drizzle of your raspberry liqueur, which apparently he goes heavy on, so I will too. A nice layer of your vanilla ice cream, and then top it off with your second round of cake. I quickly threw my meringue into a piping bag with a big star tip and then tried to pipe nice even stripes up the sides, eventually a few stars across the top, and I have to say this does not look bad. Now apparently before flambeing this, he wants you to set it in the freezer for 15 minutes so that everything sets up, so that's what I did, except when I opened the freezer, this is what I saw. I honestly have no words at this point. I don't know if this is savable at all. I think I'm just gonna throw them both in the freezer, give them all night, let them solidify, and then I'll come back to them tomorrow. The following day, I grabbed Tasty's version out and tried to piece this mess back together. I hate working with ice cream, guys. It's delicious, it's great, but it's such a pain. I tried to slap on the rest of the meringue. Again, it's mixing with the ice cream. I don't know how that's possible. It was in the freezer for 12 hours. I just really need to get this video over with before I break something or get myself demonetized because I'm cursing up a storm. And what do you know, when I grabbed Gordon's out of the freezer too, it melted into this weird ovular shape. Maybe I could save this video with a cool flambe effect. I grabbed a Pyrex measuring cup, heated it up a bit, threw some of my cognac down. You can't really see the flame on this, so I turned the lights off just so you could see that it was actually on fire. This was feeling super hot, so I very slowly dripped it around the outsides of my pastry. All the cognac decided to pool up on the bottom, and I got no color at all. So yeah, I think I just need to eat these and shut up. I truly and honestly give up. Never suggest me an ice cream recipe ever again. I don't want to do it. Even though I kind of willingly chose this on my own this week. Ice cream and box cake. I do think there's some cool comparisons to be made. I'm gonna try just the meringue on both, and then try every component together in one bite on both, and see which is better. The meringue's actually pretty good. It's got quite a marshmallowy resemblance, but like, not that firm. Everything together is good too. It's like marshmallow fluff on ice cream on cake, so. And here's this thing. This was going well until I put it back in the freezer. Maybe my fridge isn't cold enough. It kind of smells weird. Like eggs and feet. Here's just the meringue. That's good. It's much less dense. I don't know if that's better or worse than Tasty's. It's less dense and less sweet. Here's a disastrous cross section for you. At least you could see every component in there. The cake, the meringue, and the ice cream are fantastic. I don't know how I feel about raspberries and ginger cake though. Also, I just got a mouthful of straight raw cognac. I don't know. Neither one of them's bad. Both of them were a pain in my rear end to film and review. Because they are pretty different, I was expecting one to just smack the other one, but I don't know. If you like gingerbread cake, make this. Don't use cognac, just use a torch. If you like Neapolitan ice cream and yellow cake, make Tasties. Before we finish up today, guys, I want to give another huge shout out to the people who made this video possible, Skillshare. As I said before, Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of different classes to choose from. I myself have signed up to it. I've done a number of classes, and one that has stuck out to me is how to take better photos on your iPhone. In this one, a full-on professional photographer gives you tips and tricks how to take pro photos from any smartphone, really. And we all have smartphones. We all try to take scenic Instagram pictures, so this is a really useful skill to have. So whether you want to fuel your curiosity, creativity, or even your career, Skillshare is the perfect place to keep you learning and thriving. And if you enjoy your first 2 months for free, then it's less than $10 a month after that. So click the link in the top line of the description, go sign up, and try some of these classes out for yourself. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, slap a like on this one for me. Next week is the beginning of the summer chaos of 2 videos a week for as long as I can go until I get burnt out, I guess. Follow me over on Twitter and Instagram if you do not already. The links are in the description. Thank you again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Other than that, have a fantastic weekend. I will see you right back here next time. Peace.
With the M without the AD. Flipping burgers and my money super lazy. Try and make a meal tonight, they ain't paying me. Try and supersize my life with my 18. Yeah, our style wasn't wavy, but we had a vision.